Okay, so here's another example of using the quadratic formula. We check to make sure it's set to 0. If it's not set to 0, you got to move stuff over to the left-hand side, but it is. A is 2, B is -6, and C is 1 this time. I always write the formula because then it helps you remember it. I always hear students tell me about a song, but I don't know the song. And even if I did, you wouldn't want me to sing it. Trust me. Okay, so we put in A, B, and C. The opposite of -6. The opposite of -6, right? Because B is -6. Plus or minus, then we're going to have -6 squared minus 4 times A times C. And then that's all over 2 times A. All right. That's how everything gets put in the formula. So practice out, rewind this, whatever you need to do to understand that part. And then we're going to start simplifying. So the opposite of -6 is just 6, plus or minus the square root of, that's 36 minus 8, right? So if I square -6, I get 36, and then 4 times 2 times 1 is 8, but it was subtracting. And then 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. So I'll just go over here to make it a little more paper friendly. 6 plus or minus the square root of, now what's 36 minus 8? 28? That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Right now, the way it's written, you know, I can't, well, I shouldn't say that. I can simplify. So what I'm going to simplify, though, is the 28. 28 is 4 times 7, and I can take the square root of 4. Okay, so I'm going to get 6 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 7. So that 4 is coming out. I'm taking the square root of 4, and that's 2, all over 4. Okay, now, this I can simplify. Because the numerator, both terms, like this 6 and this part, they have a factor of 2, I can factor that out. So it's 2 times 3 plus or minus the square root of 7. So think about distributing there, and you would get that numerator over 4. But then 2 goes into 4 2 times. So my final answers are going to be 3 minus the square root of 7 over 2, that's one of them, and 3 plus the square root of 7 over 2. And you can write it with a plus or minus, that's fine too. By the way, those are irrational numbers. They're real number solutions, but they're irrational because of the square root of 7. Okay? So that's how that works. The tricky thing on that one is right here maybe. You have to look and see if there's a factor that this, and this have in common. And if there is, then you can simplify it.